Welcome. Today's webinar is on improving the look and feel of Totara 12. My name is Dr. Tammy Frame, and I am the Chief Education Officer of eClass for Learning. I'm very excited about today's webinar. As you're probably aware, Totara 12 just came out, and it has some very exciting features that are new that can really help improve how Totara looks. So we're going to be taking some time. We're going to look at 3 different parts that I think can really be improved, and I have some samples here, and we'll talk about how I made these. So the first one, we're going to talk about the home site, or the front page, and then we're going to talk about dashboards, which are really important, and then we'll move into the new course catalog look, which I'm really excited about. I noticed that several people just joined. There should be a Q&A part of the Zoom meeting that you're a part of. Feel free to put those questions in throughout the webinar and I will answer them. I think it makes the webinar a lot more exciting and fun if it's interactive. And just to practice that a little bit, how is my volume? I have a brand new headset and I just want to make sure that people are able to hear okay. So if you can put that in the chat, if you're hearing me okay, that would be great. Is everybody hearing? Okay, good. Okay, thank you. All right, but feel free to put any questions that you have because chances are other people will. We are recording today's session, and after I've downloaded the recording, I'll be sending out a link. So some people that couldn't come live, will be sending you the link and you can watch it at your own time. Okay, so let's get started. We're looking at a live implementation of Totara 12. This is my new demo site, and we're starting at the home page. And you can make the home page whatever you want. Traditionally, a lot of people will have all of their courses listed, but you don't necessarily have to do that. And now with the really nice Fine Learning catalog, that may be not how you want to use this real estate. So this is how I made mine, and I'll just kind of show you some things and how I did it. So first of all, we have our main Totara menu across the top. And of course, you can add your logo, your colors, your own branding, just like you did in the previous versions. And we can help with that too. This is using the basis theme, and I used a combination of the color pickers and a little bit of CSS to help me out. One thing I would add to that a lot of people don't know, this isn't necessarily new to Totara 12, but a lot of people are surprised about this. You can customize this menu, and I did a little bit. I kept all the standard things, but you can also hide these. So for example, if you're not using performance, you can hide that or any of the submenus. I actually added a tab, so you can add your custom menu items. I added a get help to mine, and it has our help forums and where you can put support tickets as well. So you can add any menu items that you want. How you do that is under the site admin, under main, it would be under appearance, and then you can go to main menu and you can move these around in different orders. I've had a client that renamed some of them. You can take them away and make them not visible. You can add your own. So that's just a little tip, not part of 12, but a lot of people don't know. So going on from my front page, one of the major changes that I like for Totara 12 is they moved where the site admin is located. They put it up here, and this would only be something that site admin would see, and you can click here and it's a lot more sleek and easier to read and less clunky to get at. So as you're designing and working on the site, I think that makes it really nice. The other thing that's kind of cool about it is you can go under menu settings here and you are able to configure it. So if there are certain things that you personally use all the time that are in a couple levels, you can move those out, you can move things up and down, and you really can customize your own site administration to be however you want it. So that's kind of cool. So let's go back to the home page here. And then the next thing, I have a banner here, and in Totara 12, we now have the ability to make blocks that scan, or span, I should say, the whole horizontal part of your space, which makes it look more like a modern website, which I think is cool. So let's go here and turn the editing on for the front page, and I'll kind of talk about the different elements I used and how I got this look. So I turned it on. So another thing that's new in 12 is how blocks are added. So they make it a lot easier. Instead of going to a block usually at the bottom that said add a block and then a pull down menu, there are now pluses wherever you can add a block. So when I wanted to add this one all the way across, there is an option to do that. Now, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to, but it is kind of a nice feature that we didn't have before. So any type of block can span the whole length of it. When you click here, now you see what add a block is, and you can add whatever you want. So I added an HTML block, which sounds really techy, but basically that means it's an empty block that you can put anything you want in. And then in here, you go to configure, and then instead of saying new HTML block, if you click this, I actually had it blank so that I just wanted my image. I didn't want anybody to be able to hide it, and I didn't want anybody to dock it. I wanted it to stay there all the time. And then this is where the content goes, and I just uploaded with a picture the image of my banner, and that's what I did. So I'll cancel this, and I'll delete this quick. And that's how I got it in. One comment I would say, in making your site really pop, I think pictures and branding are important. I think pictures really make the site less techy and more human. So if you can get photos from iStock Photos or things like that. I think also carrying your brand look across the site, whatever that is, and your branding guidelines really helps keep it consistent too. So those are some little tips from an instructional design. So this next block is here. It's the site description, and it's called, I should say, summary of site. And you really can't get rid of this one, but you can use it however you want. This one's a default. So I got rid of, I put use default section name. It used to say summary of site if you don't do that. I deleted it so that it says nothing. And again, I put in another image in here using the image of how LMSs are changing from the old way they were using to the new trends, and how Totara meets those new trends. So that's how that one was added. This one, again, is another HTML. We just won an award, and so I made this one so it links to the award page. And what I did is, again, I added with a plus, we could do it on this side, another HTML block. And I just added an image and I linked it to that site, and there's a checkbox for opening in a new tab. So that's what I did for that one. Okay. One of the most exciting things, we actually had this in 11, but they've made it much, much better, and it's pretty exciting and I think really helps with the look, is the featured links block. And it has a very tile look, and you have a lot of options on how you can use it. So I have 4 freedoms that Totara is based on: freedom to innovate, freedom to save, freedom of choice, freedom to learn. And then I have a little blurb about what each of those means. And I could have linked these to another page if I wanted to. So how you do this, if you want a featured links block, is again, you'd hit the plus of wherever you want it. And there's actually one called featured links. And then it'll show up with like this with an add tile. And so to get started, you click here. You can have as many tiles as you want. And then you have different tile types. So you could do, you could have it autofill with a certification or a course. I chose a static one for this. I just wanted to show an icon. Again, in instructional design, we're seeing a lot of sites that use sort of an icon-driven menu. I could have a gallery where every few seconds it changes, or I could have it auto-feed different programs from Totara. If I wanted to, I can, well, actually it's required. You can put in the website that you want it to link to, and that could be another element or a navigation place that you want to direct them to. Maybe it's a class that they can self-register for that you want to highlight. You can put the actual link there. And then you could choose to have it open in another tab. You can either have the image fill the entire tile, or if you want it to fit inside, it gives it a little bit of white space around the edges. I usually like fit inside, but you can test which one you like better. If you don't have an icon and you want an icon-driven one, I uploaded my own, but they have an icon library where you could just pick one. Or you can, in a little bit down here, add your own image, which is what I did. And then you can choose large, medium, or small. I went with small for mine because I had 4 of them and I wanted them to all fit in a row. You can title it. The description is that little blurb that I was showing you in gray. And so I added a slight description on this feature blocks. And then if the heading is going to be at the top or the bottom, then if you have a custom image, you can upload it. And then for accessibility, you can put the alternate text there. Okay, so that's how you add your blocks, and I think it makes it look a lot more modern. Okay, I also did my case studies, and then I linked them here. In this one, I opted to just do the image, so I didn't put a title and I didn't put a description. And I renamed this one I called The 4 Freedoms, and this one I called Case Studies. So that's kind of cool. Then I added the upcoming events and the calendar. And then there is a new block to the Totara community. And if you haven't been to the Totara community, I highly recommend it. Let's see if I can even link here now. And it's you have to set up an account. If you're one of our clients, please let us know if you did that, and we'll link to you, and we can help direct you to different things and communicate and give you resources through here. There is a community where there are forums and announcements, and it shows what's coming up in the new releases. There's help documentation on Totara 12, some really neat getting started with Totara 12 videos. Then the Academy has courses on how to use Totara, and I highly recommend the Getting Started with Dashboards and Themes. That's a really good course if you're interested in making the look and feel better. You'll get a lot of ideas. Plus, the site is really cool looking, and you'll get ideas of just how they themed things and get ideas of what's possible here. So try that too. To get that block, you know, and you might want that for different users, all you do is go to plus, and now there is a Totara, where is it? Should be community. And maybe courses, of course I'm not seeing it right now. Community, no. Let's see what this one is called. Let's try it again. Not sure why I'm not seeing it, but it is called block configuration need help. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't see it there, but that's how I got it. There is a Totara community that should show up, maybe because I've already linked it on this page. It's not part of my options anymore, but that's how I got that one. Any questions that people have on the front page? Today is really going to be an overview to get you excited to see what's possible. If you are a client of ours, we can help you more in depth on your site to get these look and feel too. So just maybe look at the 2,000 foot view of what's possible, and then we can help make it real on your site. Okay, no questions so far. I'm going to move on to the next part is dashboards, and this isn't necessarily new to Totara 12, but I think it is important for how you use Totara. So in the navigation, you can decide where you want your users to land when they come to the site. So on my demo site, I have that users will come to their dashboard first, and then they can always toggle to home, and I use that more for announcements and what's new with Totara. But the dashboard kind of has their day-to-day data, the things that they're working on, things that are important to them to use the system. And dashboards are important to understand. This isn't new, but I think a lot of people don't use them effectively because they haven't been exposed to them too much. And if you go to manage dashboards, you can have multiple dashboards for different audiences. So like here, I have an audience assigned to a resident, and then I have all logged in users are going to come to my learning. So how that might work, you could just have a different dashboard per audience, but if they have more than one dashboard, there will be a dashboard block that automatically shows up. If they only have this one, it won't show up, and it'll show what other dashboards they have access to that they can go to if there are multiple ones. And then this is the main one. I think that you can really personalize things. For example, you might have a manager dashboard which helps managers quickly see information about the people they manage. And then they could have the main one about their own learning, for example. So this can get really powerful as you kind of personalize and have different paths for different people. Just on my sample dashboard, this is an HTML block. When you, first of all, we can put blocks editing on here. You can configure your dashboards for different users any way that you want. You can even allow it that the user could customize their dashboard, or you can turn that off as well. So again, what's new in Totara 12 is you could have like a banner across the top or a block that takes up the whole width of the screen. I opted not to do that on this one. I instead did an HTML block which has important links to our company that actually go to different places on our website, for example. Then I went with the latest badges that I've received here as a block. I went to the last course access announcements, and then I had a current learning block that shows all of the courses that I'm currently working on. And I did have a client with a question recently about this. If you would finish a course, it's not going to show up here in the current learning block. These are only ones that you have yet to do. Otherwise, it should show up on the record of learning, okay? You didn't see tasks or alerts because I didn't have any today. If I did, then these blocks would show up. They're invisible if there aren't any, so I opted for those. Here, I have a different dashboard, and I would just want to make a plug for Zula. Zula is a product that we resell. It has advanced analytics and reporting that talk to the LMS. It actually can talk to several of your systems and draw data and create reports, and it's drag and drop. So I made an instructor dashboard here, and I just linked it as one of my other dashboards. And what will happen here is it's going to show me a whole bunch of analytics about a course that I teach, and I could pick other courses that I teach. And here I've got a heat map. I can quickly see completed, not completed. I'm able to drill deeper into these things. I can export them and so on. And it's real-time data. And so you can create these kinds of dashboards and give permission and assign them to certain audiences or people in the system on the data that they need to see. And I think that makes the LMS really, really powerful. If I go back here, what else you can do in Zula is you can schedule any of those reports. You can do that with the Totara report builder too. So I could say that I want this weekly email to each of the instructors of each of the courses. You could set that up. Here I have some quick My Learning things. So my learning plans, any face-to-face bookings. I have access to Zula. You can decide who your Zula administrators are. When you click this, it takes you to your Zula where you can create your dashboards, your reports, and work on them. I can go back to my LMS. So I'll go back here so you can kind of see how the two are linked when you're a site administrator and a Zula administrator. Now I'm back here. Here is a Zula report that is, I wanted to be able to see quickly course completions by month. So any report that you make in Zula can be put in a block. Those can be put on manager dashboards. They can be filtered in certain ways and saved and put on there too. So I think that gets very exciting for the look and feel of the LMS when people have actionable data that they can see in real time of things that would be useful at their fingertips. Okay, so let's see what we've got up here. And I can filter it right from here too if I wanted to. Any questions I should maybe show you on the dashboard? When I go here, who is available, how you do it. When I put on the blocks menu, that's where I can just choose blocks, move them around. You have a lot of options. And again, the featured links block works just as well on the dashboard as it does on the front page. You just put on blocks editing on. After you've made your changes, reset dashboard for all the users that have been assigned to that one. So a lot of people don't know how to use the dashboard or didn't even know that that was available to them and have it go directly to their home page. But I think the dashboard can be a very powerful tool in the usability and look of how your LMS is and how to personalize it. Any questions that you want to ask about the dashboard? You guys have been a quiet group so far. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to go on to the Find Learning, which is a much improved course catalog. And here I'm going to go to my San Diego County courses here. Okay, so the first thing that you'll notice is before the course catalog was sort of at a list of text and line by line, but now you can have a very tiled look to it. Now, if you upgrade and you don't see this right away, it will appear this way if you go to a new install. But if you're upgrading, the old part might appear, and that happened to me, and I was a little confused at first. So I read the documentation, and what you have to do if you're upgrading, and we can help with this too, is under your site admin, you go to Advanced Features, and then it's towards the bottom, catalog type, you want the grid. But you could also do category or report, and report is the old way that it looked. So now I have it defaulting to the grid, which I like a whole lot better. And I'll go back to here, and it looks this way. Now, before we get too far into this, I'm going to go into a course view and show you how we get the pictures and the description. So for mine right now, and this is highly customizable, I opted to have the course picture show, the name of the course, any tags that I had, so I have different tags, and I could have even created a filter by tags, the category, and then also any icons that I have, because sometimes in people's categories they might give an icon, like all safety training might have a certain safety look, or all in-person training might have a certain icon. So that's how I decided to have my template, and we'll get into a minute of what all your options are. But the first question that usually people have for me is, how do I get the picture in the tile? So that actually starts out on your courses. So let's go to this course for a minute. And when I click that, they get more information. And this is where the description shows up. And then go to course. And I happen to have self-registration set up on this. And by the way, this isn't a feature that's new to Totara 12. It's in the previous versions. You can have audience-based dashboard, or catalogs, I should say. So that means that based on your audience, so you could have, let's say, a dynamic audience for nurses at a hospital, then they would only see the courses that are appropriate for nurses. Where a doctor on login, it would know from the hierarchy that they're a doctor in the position hierarchy. We could have a doctor catalog, and the doctor courses could automatically show up. So just know that that's an option too. So in this course, under course settings, edit settings, you kind of put in, this is going to be the full name and the short name, and you can decide which one you want to show up in your tile, the course category, the course type, because that could be a filter. If there's going to be dates, you could filter by that too. So then I have my course summary, which showed up as the description, and then under appearance, there can be, this is where you get your icon for the course, and there are all ones you can choose from. There's even a way that you can upload to your icon library and add your own icons, and then you can put in your course image, and that's what's showing up in those tiles. Okay, so that's how I got that part. So then back here in Fine Learning, I like these because these I have looking a little bit better. You'll notice up here is a configure catalog. So if you have the rights as a site admin, you can go in here, and this is where you can decide how this is going to look for you. So you could have courses, I want in my catalog courses, certifications, and programs. And I forgot to show at the top of the catalog, or maybe it was a filter on the side, you can choose to have it filter by these things too. Then under general, I wanted the tile and list, but you could also do tile only or list only. How many you want to load on a single page. I wanted them by category, but I could customize that. And I could have a featured learning section at the top if I wanted to. Then you set up your template, and this goes decides what's going to be in that tile for you. So I said I wanted the course image up there. Hero data type, let's see if I can remember. This means that one thing gets really bolded and kind of over the top of the image. And so I didn't want that. So I put none, but I could have had like the icon be the arching thing that's at the top, okay? I did want my description to show. I did want the icon in there, and I wanted a progress bar in there. And so you can pick those things that you want to show. Then under item, for courses, I wanted the full name, certification, same thing, programs. Then for courses, I said I wanted the editing trainer name to show up. And then for certifications, I picked the active period. So you get a pull down list of what's available for that type of learning. And then I wanted programs and to show how long they're available until, so that people, if there's only 3 days left of it and they know it's going to take 10 days to complete, maybe they don't want to sign up for that one. I wanted tags, I wanted categories, I wanted what kind of learning type I also put here. And then I could decide in what order those things are going to be too. Now, I believe you can add custom fields as well and put in things and have those show up too, okay? Then details, let's see what's under here. Additional text fields. So you could, this is where we can put other things, other labels. So we could name things and put custom things there too. Then filters. Filters is the exciting part. So I decided so far I wanted to go by learning type, and I wanted to go by category. I could even do the tags, and we'll save that, and we'll go back and look at it, and those are appearing at the side. So now I have resident training and those 3 up here. The share button is new, so you can share the catalog with different people, or different filters with different people. And this would be the old, another view, a list view like this, or you can do the grid view. Any questions about the new course catalog? I think this really modernizes things and makes it a lot more visually friendly. Okay. One other thing that maybe a plug for our next webinar, we are going to be talking about this new content marketplace, and Totara is going to be adding more and more. They have a partner right now with Go1. Go1 has 170,000 courses that are available. It looks like 165,000 are showing up for me. A lot of them are free, but some of them are by a subscription that you can purchase, and you can pick what goes in there, and they have hundreds of vendors, and you can do it by your industry. So then let's say I want this free one about 5 questions finance executives have about the future of work. Then here it's showing me in the course catalog, just same way. And then I can go to create course because it's all integrated. And I can either have with multiple activities, and I recommend that if you're going to have like a course feedback form or a quiz or something like that, then you decide what you want to name it, and you put in what course category it goes into. And then I'll create and view my course. And boom, it put the score module right in there, ready to use, and I can continue to customize the course, and I can assign it to different audiences. And this was a free one. And this is built right into Totara 12, and you can, there's different ways that you can subscribe to different content, and we can help you to do that. I'm not sure why that one failed. try it one more time. Otherwise, I'll have to, there it goes. Not sure why that happened. Okay. And just like SCORM, you can decide what the views are. Here it comes. And so it's so easy to drop in content. And I know if you're getting, let's say your site is a compliance site, then you might have 3 compliance courses to start out with that you've worked very hard on that everybody needs to do, but maybe you'd like some things that are not required to populate your site and make it interesting and introduce the LMS and get people excited that will help them in their career. Or in the review cycle, you want people to put learning plans together with their manager of courses that will help move them along in their career. Getting some of this content in there can really help you make your site exciting and dynamic right away. So let me tell you a little bit about when we're going to be doing that. Under our upcoming webinars on www.eclassforlearning.com, it's on Tuesday, February 7th. And it'll be at 1 p.m. Central, and you just click Save Your Seat, and you can sign up like you did for this one. Any final questions of things that you're curious about or would like to do and aren't sure how to do for the look and feel of your sites? Otherwise, feel free, if you are more comfortable and you're one of our clients, to talk with us, and we would be happy to help you with that. And I think it's exciting how much these little tools can add and make things a better experience for your users. So like I said, if you haven't done the upgrade to Totara 12, I'd highly encourage you to do it. It's stable and it's got some really great tools out there for you. So with that, if there are no further questions, I hope to see you on the next webinar.